36 high school game of the week. It's the Kickapoo Chiefs against the Glendale Falcons. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rob Evans along with Don West, and tonight it's the first of two regular season meetings between these two ball clubs, the Southside rivals, and as you can see, Glendale High School is packed and has been for quite a while, Don.
Rob, a big crowd on hand here tonight, a packed house at Glendale, and one of the biggest matchups of the year in the Glendale-Kickapoo game this evening. Both these teams have been in the state rankings. Glendale, of course, has been at number 1. Kickapoo has been as high as number 7 in the state top 10, and it is an exciting, exciting atmosphere here tonight at Glendale.
Glendale has 2 blemishes on their record. Of course, in a game that we had here on Cable 36 earlier, they lost to St. Raymond's in the final of the Tournament of Champions in a game in which, I don't know, I guess you could say they eyeballed their opponent in the first quarter and blinked. St. Raymond's got out to a huge lead. Glendale spent their bullets getting back into the ball game and ended up losing by, I want to say, a double-digit margin. They lost their second ball game to Jefferson City up at Columbia, playing in the Hearn Center, and similar thing happened in that ball game. They got behind early, never could catch up, ended up losing 60-49.
And this is a different Glendale team right now, Rob, because they are without one of their key cogs in Blake Will, the 6'6" senior center, who is out probably until at least district tournament time with a broken left index finger that he suffered in the St. Raymond's Tournament of Champions final. And so with Matt Tinsley becoming the 5th starter, the former number 6 man for the Falcons, a 5'10" junior guard, replacing 6'6" Blake Will, it's a lot more diverse Glendale attack, I guess you could say. You're going to have 5 guys who could basically all be called guards, and going up against a Kickapoo team that has a relatively new player in Tyrone Gardner, a 6'6" senior who's only playing in his 6th game tonight. We saw him play in his first game against Parkview just a couple of weeks back.
Offensively, that could make Glendale a little bit better ball club, but defensively, it's going to hurt them on the inside. It'll put a lot of pressure on Ben Garwitz at 6'3" to guard the 6'5" post player in Tyrone Gardner.
Oh, absolutely.
As for the Parkview Vikings, they defeated Glendale Kickapoo in the game that we had here earlier on Cable 36, and Kickapoo could really throw a monkey wrench into all that if they were to knock off Glendale tonight.
That's right. Glendale undefeated in the conference. Kickapoo at 2-1, and Parkview at the top right now. They're 4-0 in conference play, but they have not seen the Glendale Falcons yet. They will next Tuesday night.
And you want to know the injustice of it all when you look at state playoff activity coming up. All 3 of those teams are going to be in the same district or region or first round of state play, and 2 of those teams are going to be left home.
It'll be at Parkview this year, and the really criminal injustice of it all, Rob, is that one of those 3 teams, either Kickapoo, Glendale, or Parkview, is going to be a 3 seed in that district, and the district will be seeded February 10th, so the games coming in the next 10 or 12 days will go a long way toward determining the number 1 seed in that district.
You've got Kickapoo at 13-4, Glendale at 17-2. Glendale unbeaten at 3-0 in the conference. Kickapoo is 2-1, and we'll settle it all here in a few minutes. We'll be back right after this. Rob Evans, Don West, back at Glendale High School, where the Kickapoo Chiefs and the Glendale Falcons are getting set to go in front of a packed house here at Glendale. We'll have the rematch coming up, and it's ironic that the rematch will be in a couple of weeks, and it'll be right after the district tournaments are seeded. We'll have that game for you here on Cable 36 out at Kickapoo. As we mentioned, we're going to get busy the rest of the way now and probably go 2 games a week for the month of February. Before we get ready to go with our ball game, we'll be back to give you the starting lineups, but first we're going to honor America with our national anthem. Our national anthem is played by the Glendale Pep Brand. I guess we're going to take a look at the starting lineups.
For Kickapoo, it'll be Ross Cully and Ryan Stock. Stock, the leading scorer for the Chiefs at 17 points a game. Gardner, Tyrone Gardner, the transfer from Olathe East in the center, and Ben Pendergrass and Ben Sutherland will be the starting forwards tonight for Coach Roy Green's Chiefs. The Falcons will go with Austin Thompson and David Ross at the guards. Matt Tinsley is a third guard in place of Blake Will out with a broken index finger. And the forwards, Wes Pickering and Ben Garwitz, but it's a very diverse Glendale attack that can see anyone get out on the three-point line as well as anyone coming into the paint and scoring from there.
Well, really any of the top four. Garwitz more of the inside player and 6'3", but where he's going to have his problem, Don, if they match up man-to-man, is trying to stop Gardner in the middle.
Gardner in his 5 games since becoming eligible for the Chiefs has scored 9, 18, 18, 17, and 20. Kickapoo's lost 2 of its last 3 games, which were in Coffeyville, Kansas. They lost 2 of 3 in that tournament. They beat the host Coffeyville and lost to Leavenworth, Kansas, which is ranked #1 in the state in Kansas Class 6A, the biggest class, and Leavenworth ended up winning the tournament. They're 14-0 now. And in the third place game, Kickapoo lost to Tulsa Central, and they're ranked #3 in 5A in Oklahoma, which is a class with the likes of Booker T. Washington and the magnet schools that make it as tough a class as is 6A in Oklahoma.
And to believe Nate Harris, who we saw as the head coach at Booker T. Washington in Tulsa, Central is just as quick, if not quicker, than is Booker T. And as they say, I'll believe that one when I see it. But if that's
right.
the case, you're talking about a couple of pretty good athletic ball clubs that the Chiefs have lost to.
Glendale in white, Kickapoo in gold. Robert Burr and Kerry Nelson are the officials. Mr. Nelson is going to wait till the band stops playing and get this one underway.
Actually, I think he's going to go over and ask them to stop playing so he can put it up.
And he's even got a security guard out here to
make sure that the fans stay off the floor.
They're going to make the front row of fans get up on the first row of bleachers other than standing on the floor.
Well, if that's the case, then there's a whole line on the other side that are going to have to do the same thing.
And they are dressed in short skirts and wearing cheerleading uniforms that are brown, gold, and white.
And I guarantee you, if they don't go to the right side of that picture and do the same thing, we're going to have a problem. But it doesn't look like they're going to do it. Well, now both teams are being sent over. And
this is interesting. So before we have a game, we will have order in the stands.
Well, and not that there was any disorder, just they were standing on the floor.
And when you get fans on the floor, all they're going to do is get closer and closer to the line until they're actually on the field of floor play.
And I guess what they're saying is that the Kickapoo cheerleaders are allowed they're allowed their spot on the floor.
They will be the blockers for the Kickapoo fans.
But they themselves are in the way, though, if you're going according to what happened just a moment ago.
Austin Thompson with a tap and a quick foul as Garwitz gets it down in the lane.
Well, they got the tap, and Pendergrass drew the foul underneath, or committed the foul.
That took all of 4 seconds, and Ben Garwitz will shoot 2. Glendale at 17-2 coming in. They made up a game that was weathered out in December against Carthage last week and won that game. They've beaten Joplin in the conference 68-46 on Tuesday night. Kickapoo, meanwhile, was demolishing Hillcrest 81-36 this past Tuesday. Ryan Stock to the corner to Cully. He'll try the three. And a rebound foul. This will go on Matt Tinsley. And one team foul apiece. Kickapoo under its own basket. Out to Stock.
Kickapoo's going to have to shoot the ball well tonight, Don, if they want to win this game. You remember we saw them against Parkview, and they continued to fire the shots up. They didn't go in the basket.
Gardner with the size advantage. Misses, and it's lost out of bounds by Sutherland.
And I would imagine that if they're not hitting a high percentage of their shots from the outside, that the selection of those shots will need to be a little better than it was that particular night.
And coming in is a foul on Pendergrass, and that's quickly his second. We played less than a minute, 1-0 Glendale. And the Falcon inbound play at half court. Pickering will run the show this time.
J.P. Morgan's going to come in at the next break.
So a forced early substitution for Roy Green due to 2 fouls. Inside, Ross with a miss. It'll stay with Glendale, and J.P. Morgan, a 6'4" senior, into the lineup. Sutherland to the bench. Little trouble getting it in, but it's to Tinsley. Pickering shakes free and lost the ball inside, and possession goes to Kickapoo. And the Glendale fans are standing on the floor now.
Which will be fine as long as they're out of the way, which they are.
This is Morgan. Out to Stock, up from 3. And he's deadly when he's open. And the Chiefs take the lead. Pickering feeds Tinsley. Pickering's there to pick it up and can't hit. Cully running the floor. Down to Gardner. At the block, he's going to be called for a travel.
And he's lucky they called him for a travel, Don, because he leaned in offensively with his left shoulder. Could have very easily gone the other way. Watch it. And right there is where I was talking about, and by that point, he'd already committed the travel.
Ross out front for the Falcons to Thompson. He'll switch directions, go toward the hoop and pull up from 12. Missed the baseline jumper. Tyrone Gardner, the Kickapoo rebound. Cully deep right side with Pickering coming out on him. Stock will shoot over Ross. This one online but short. Ross lost it at half court. No backcourt there.
There was no backcourt.
That looked like at least 1 foot stayed on the line. Maybe not.
So we have our first difference with
There's Gardner. Well, no official was in a position to call it either. Neither official. 5-1 Chiefs. Ross really covered up, but a block is going to be called, presumably on Cully. Will be Cully's first.
You know, the 2 games that Glendale has lost on, they've, as we say, blinked in the first quarter. They've gotten off to a very slow start, and I don't know about the game in Columbia against Jefferson City, but against St. Raymond's in the finals of the TSC almost looked intimidating. That shouldn't be the case tonight. based on the people they played and in most cases beaten this year.
Brad Daylor is in now for Kickapoo, number 30. 6'1" senior, has been a starter. And we'll get a body push there on Daylor. No, it's not, it's Morgan. Fourth team foul. And there's the first Falcon field goal. It took 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And TP goes flying through the stands and probably put a stop to that. Meanwhile, we got a foul out front. This is crazy.
As long as it stays in the stands, it'll be fine.
And it just didn't. It just had a roll out on the floor.
Yeah, but they weren't throwing it out on the floor.
And to the benches the teams go. And here we get the obligatory announcement that
Kickapoo fans are saying it's their fault, and they're going, that's right, it's our fault, yeah.
Wow. We haven't seen the likes of this in a while.
David Ross, meanwhile, picks up his first foul. It may have spilled out on the floor, Don, but it wasn't intentional. I mean, you can tell when somebody's trying to throw something on the floor, they're going to get it on the floor. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it just rolled out there, but so to speak. But they made the stoppage.
Oh, yeah, you have to stop play, and you got to, keep it under control. And I think they let it go just to the right time. Let them have their fun, and then get back to the action.
Midway through a raucous first quarter, 5-3 Kickapoo. Three-pointer off the mark for Tinsley. And an interception for Ross defensively. Thompson for three. Falcons back up by a point. Gardner gets his own rebound and puts it in. Pickering out to Ross from three. Spins it out. Gardner the pull. And the Falcons back the other way with Thompson traveling. Well, for a game that has not had very many points, it certainly hasn't lacked excitement. Under 3 minutes to go, first quarter, 7-6. Kickapoo, 5 point. Stock with the leaner. Gardner the rebound. That's where Glendale is hurting without Blake Will.
Well, they don't need to be if they can be if they get fundamentally smart and block him out and things of that nature.
Morgan did the smart thing and just threw it toward the basket off balance, but it'll be Glendale ball, and Ross Tully replaces Morgan.
Brett Powell is also in the lineup for the Chiefs.
Thompson out to Pickering in the corner. Garwitz out beyond three. Thompson zips it down to Garwitz. Out to Tinsley. Unable to connect. And the Chiefs have it with a 3-point lead. Gardner. No, but he's fouled and will go to the line. Garwitz here got in the air. 2 free throws for the big man, Tyrone Gardner. He has 7, now 8 of Kickapoo's 11. And the other 3 are a Ryan Stock three-pointer.
And Glendale has been using Austin Thompson on him on the inside.
There's Pickering, and foul is called on Brett Powell. Roy Green told us before the game he'd have to play 10 or 11 tonight.
That is part of his strategy in hoping that he can wear Glendale down, because they're not going to go much more than 6 deep. And the 6th will be Andres Mueller. And that's because, of course, Blake Will not in the lineup.
Here's a 3, no good. And Glendale with Pickering. Giving it to Garwood. Back to a 1-point game. 1:15 to go in the first. And the running banker for Stock. Was that Powell? Thank you. Ryan Stock. Pickering with a drive, and he draws the foul. That'll be the first on Gardner. And a couple of more subs for the Chiefs. Tim Banner is in, number 3, and Ben Sutherland, 25, back in. 1 free throw for Pickering. Knocked all the way back into Glendale's backcourt. Down to Thompson, too far under. Ross up from 3. Five in a row for the Falcons to go up 15-13. Your first quarter clock, as you see. Loose ball, and it will be backcourt. Roy Green comes out asking for a deflection, but not getting it from Kerry Nelson.
Kerry was right there and made no bones about it. He said right away that it was not deflected. We had the same view and thought the same thing. I think anybody from this side would have thought that. Andres Mueller into the Glendale lineup.
Ross out to Tinsley.
They get Garowitz a breather and keep the other 4 starters out there.
Pickering has to go up for it. Ross running banker, yes. Still 5 seconds for Kickapoo. And Tully with a pass, and they took a little too long. And the Glendale Falcons, after trailing 11-6, went on an 11-2 run of their own to end the first quarter. 17-13 Falcons after 1. Don West, Rob Evans back at Glendale High. Kerry Nelson still trying to get a little order over there on the student side. But there is not going to be much of that tonight.
Well, they're trying to get some more folks in those seats. And
how many more bodies can you cram standing into the bleachers? Not really very many, if any. Kickapoo first shot, second quarter. Sutherland missed, and it's put back in by Gardner. He has 10 of the Chiefs' 15. Ross pulls up at the 3-point arc. He'll drive in. No good. Kickapoo a chance to tie or take the lead. Out left side, 3 for Daylor, good. Daylor for 3. The student section got riled up in the JV game. There's an interception for Cully, which was won by Glendale 63-60. And we're told that that is only like the second loss for Kickapoo's JV since they were 7th graders at Cherokee. Gardner now hearing about it. Garwitz back into the lineup.
Well, Stock is the one who's hearing about it. He shot the air ball. Gardner just had it poked away.
Off Pickering this time and out to the corner for an inbound. Stock again. And Daylor short this time. Gardner. And the turnover to the Falcons. Chiefs on a 5-0 run to start the second period. 6:20 to go in the first half. Tinsley baseline. Rebound for Sutherland. Out to Cully. Down to Sutherland. He shakes free and gets in before Mueller could get there. Kickapoo extends the run in the second quarter.
7-0 run now to start the quarter.
Underneath, the miss for Tinsley. And Kickapoo can keep it going.
The Glendale's wanted to make a substitution for about 2 minutes, but they haven't had a dead ball.
Here's Mueller against Gardner. Oh, and that's swatted down by Garwitz. Tinsley, Gardner fouls him. That's Gardner's second. Remember, in the game a couple of weeks back we had against Parkview, Gardner had foul trouble and fouled out fairly early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was at that time it was one of those fouls of you can't come into my house, but you got to remember you've only got 5 fouls to play with, and he has a problem with that.
Now here come the subs. Thompson is in for Glendale, and Roy Green sends J.P. Morgan back in along with Brett Powell. Free throw's not there for Tinsley. Stock will pull it back out. And go to work. Great pass to Powell and the foul on Garwitz. That'll be Ben's second. Two shots for Brett Powell. Kickapoo still missing Corey McDonald, their 6'7" guy, who's out until at least district tournament time with a wrist injury. Powell's first point.
I'll tell you what, if he got him with a body, and he didn't get him with much there, Don. He blocked the shot up top clean.
Garwitz rebounds. 8-0 in the quarter now for Kickapoo, and a foul on the Chiefs. And that'll be the second on Powell. Their nasty collision that everyone gets up from. Thompson's fourth point. Brad Daylor back in for the Chiefs. So the Chiefs scored 8 straight before Glendale gets on the board here in the period. Stock for 3. Out long it comes to Daylor. Loops it over to Morgan from 3. Garwitz the rebound. Thompson on the other end. Yes. And that's good for a Falcon lead, 22-21. Stock pull up. Tipped out. Back to Stock. Misses. Powell, no. And there's Tinsley. Thompson from 15. End to end we go at Glendale. Falcons by a point. Daler. And David Ross gets it. We told you Kickapoo would need to shoot a big percentage from the outside. And that percentage is going down. Ross blocked, but Ross gets it back. Daler came out for it, and now it's called for the reach. Cully will check in after the first free throw to be shot by David Ross. Well, no, he'll come in now because it's 1-1. Ross makes good on the first. Falcons by 2. And now 3. In a game of runs, Glendale an 11-2 run to end the first quarter, and Kickapoo 8-0 to start the second. Now Sutherland will be shooting as he's fouled by Austin Thompson. 5th Glendale team foul.
And you saw Garwitz get high in the air and then start looking, and I'm sure he was praying silently that it was Thompson and not him, because that would have been his 3rd. So he needs to be careful as to how he goes after shots down in the post.
2 out of 2 for Sutherland. Glendale by a point with 3 minutes left in the first half. Garwitz on a feed from Pickering. And Stock knocked it away. Garwitz over there to get it. Thompson covered pretty hard by Sutherland. Can't get the 3 off. Stock with a partial block at the hip there, but Tinsley gets it back. Your second quarter clock in the corner. Powell coming up with a loss in the lane and a whistle, and there is another foul. This one will be on Tinsley. Number 2 on Tinsley. Just the 6th team foul, so that's the last one with no free throws. Inbounds Cully for 3, short. Rebound for Thompson on the run. This is a war.
Yeah, it really is. All over the place, and
in the stands,
on the floor,
on the benches.
Yep. And both teams know what the other guys are going to do.
Minute and a half left before halftime. I think everyone will need a breath of fresh air at the half. Thompson hits, he has 10, and the Falcon lead is 5. Stock comes out to Morgan, 3 from the corner. No good. Chiefs control. back out to Stock with under a minute left, and Roy Green will call a 20-second timeout. That's the first timeout called either way, and it comes with 56 seconds left in the first half. Obviously a pretty important minute of the game, Rob, for him to spend a 20 that close to halftime.
Well, that close to the half, but he's also, both coaches have been able to get out of the first half without using a timeout, so he'll still have plenty left. And you're right, he doesn't want to go down by any further at halftime, and I think he wants to get a play designed to get a basket off of this inbound play before the half and not let his team get out of control offensively and come down and fire up a shot that they might not want. So he decided to burn the 20 and tell them what he wanted, as opposed to let them try to figure it out.
Mike Keltner back to the Falcon bench. Kickapoo sends the play. Down to Sutherland. He gets around his man and puts it in.
And they picked on the weak link with 2 fouls for Glendale and Garwitz.
Laterally across the timeline to Pickering with 30 seconds left in the half. Ross. Tinsley back to Ross, and there's your second quarter time.
And you think that it wasn't necessarily a big timeout of the big basket, but it could have been. Had they missed the shot, Glendale comes down and goes up 30-23.
That would be a
big swing.
You betcha. And now a steal with 5 seconds left. Stock going to have to shoot from half court. Good if it goes, and he spins it out. So at the half at Glendale, the Falcons lead it by 3.
We're in halftime, and if you can't hear it, you can certainly see the Glendale Scotties are out on the floor. Their halftime performance. And Glendale won the first quarter 17-13. Kickapoo won the second 12-11. So Glendale still by 3 and halftime. And one thing that strikes you right away when you look at the score sheet, Don, that is the Glendale balance. That and the game of runs. Both teams would get off to a run, then the other team would catch up.
That's the way it's been. Basically, Glendale's starting 5 played most of the minutes except for a brief appearance by Mueller. I say brief, he was in maybe 5 minutes in the first half. But the 5 that Mike Keltner is going to play game in and game out without Blake Will needed halftime to get here for some much needed break. In the first half for the Falcons, Austin Thompson had 10, Ross 7, Garwitz 5, Pickering 4, and Tinsley 2. Mueller played and didn't score. On the Chiefs side, Tyrone Gardner had 10, got most of his points early on. Ben Sutherland 6, Ryan Stock 5, Brad Daylor 3, and Kickapoo, or Brett Powell for Kickapoo with 1 free throw. And that's where we stand at the half.
28-25, that's our score. And we'll be back right after this.
Oh, they're still having fun at halftime here at Glendale High School. 28-25, Falcons with a lead. Just a little bit south of here tonight, a big one going on down in Nixa. It's the finals of the Nixa tournament. And how about the Greenwood Blue Jays into the finals of that tournament tonight, starting in just a few minutes, actually. Greenwood, a winner over Rogersville last night in the semis at the Nixa Invitational, 37-35.
Surprises me not.
Yeah.
I'm sold on their ball club. I think they've got a good chance to do some things. And you knew that the tempo of the game was such to where Greenwood would like it. And they've got 3 good shooters on that ball club. And they were able to get one from Jacob Thomas, I believe, hit the game winner last night.
He has 2 buzzer beaters in Nixa this week to win games for the Blue Jays. Of course, in the blue and gold, Greenwood played 4 3A schools and won 3 out of the 4 games. And they have just one loss, that being in the blue and gold on the season. (28-25).
These guys aren't having any fun, are they? It's a shame.
About set for second half action at Glendale. Next week here on Cable 36, we'll have a pair of games Monday and Friday next week. Girls action on Monday here at Glendale as the Lady Falcons host Parkview. And then 1 week from tonight, we are out at Hillcrest, where this group of Falcons will take on Greg Harding's Hillcrest Hornets. Those two games coming to you next week, Monday and Friday, both live at 7:30 p.m. here on Cable 36. And not only that,
we have it all right here.
Drury College basketball, the topic on the Office Concepts Gary Stanfield Show. With those times for showing here on Cable 36 with your host Tom Mast.
Both teams will start the second half the way they started the ball game. Cully, Stock, Sutherland, Gardner, and Pendergrass. For Kickapoo, Ross, Thompson, Pickering, Garwitz, and Tinsley. Glendale shoots at basket left, leading by 3. Austin Thompson with 10 first half points. Tinsley missed it. Pickering trying to tip, and we get a foul. Pickering will pick up his first for apparently climbing on the back. And Kickapoo with a long ball could tie the game. 30 seconds into the third quarter. Cully thought about that three, doesn't take it. Stock in the lane. Too hard. His shot has been off tonight. He's had to force quite a bit of stuff. Garwitz in the open floor. Thompson from 16. Thompson with 12, and it's a 5-point game.
Neither team starts with anyone in serious foul trouble. Nobody has 3 on either side, but several players, 3 on the Kickapoo side, and 2 Falcons have 2.
Garwitz and Tinsley for Glendale. Gardner, Pendergrass, and Brett Powell off the bench for Kickapoo. Nice play in the lane. Gardner gets the rebound and the putback. Pendergrass with the miss, and Gardner cleans up the trash, and Glendale turns it over. So the Falcons down, making more unforced errors, if you will. And yet Kickapoo turns it right back over. Garwitz was able to knock it away from Pendergrass. Ross outside from Thompson. Go to the 1-4 down low. Pickering cuts to the hoop, and there's a foul. Ryan Stock will pick up his first.
Foul on number 20, Ryan Stock.
So Ross to inbound for Glendale, and there you see it. 6:21 to play. Third quarter, Glendale by 3. Tinsley off the glass. Tinsley with 4. 5-point game. Glendale with the lead. 2 minutes deep into the third quarter. Stock, top of the key, pulls up. See if he calls his own number. He'll back into the lane, kick it out for Cully. It's an air ball. Tinsley in the open floor. Timeout, Kickapoo. 5:41 to play, third quarter, and Glendale leads by 7. It'll be a full timeout, and we'll be back right after this. After the full timeout, in which neither team took the allotted 60 seconds, Tyrone Gardner gets it down low and draws Austin Thompson's second foul. So the Chiefs inbound, and it comes way out front to Ross Cully. 5:25 left to play, third quarter. Glendale by 7. Gardner missed it. Ross with the long rebound. Ross on the left side, lobs it backdoor to Pickering underneath. His shot no good. Rebound run down by Garwitz. He thought about the 3 ball but doesn't take it. Under 5 minutes to play in the third. Ball knocked away. Pickering knocked it down at mid-floor, but Stock comes up with it into the lane. Left it short. Glendale the rebound. The outlet to Ross. Up to Pickering. And he is fouled. Ryan Stock with a foul. He picks up his second. I'd like to see if we can watch that one again because both men were flying through the air. Roy Green's going to change his team almost entirely after the first free throw, which is good. Morgan is in, Powell is in, and Daler is in, and you see him give him a push right there. Could have been a dangerous play, but instead turns out okay with Stock the foul, and Pickering gets 2 free throws for Glendale.
Stock and Gardner stay in for Kickapoo. They got to have those 2 out there.
36-27. It's a 9-point game, and let's talk about how big that basket was at the end of the half. Powell missed it. Over the back foul called on Gardner. And that'll be his third. Remember the timeout taken at the end?
Right.
Of the first half, and you see the foul right there.
Good
Without
job.
that, you're looking at an 11-point game, and Glendale with all the momentum. As it is, it's a 9-point game with momentum, but an extra basket a little bit bigger. Garwitz. Garwitz with 5, and it's an 11-point game. Timeout, Kickapoo. This will be a 20, and we'll keep it here with 3:56 to go in the third quarter.
We have talked all along about Kickapoo needing to hit a good percentage, and the Chiefs have not done that. You're halfway through the third quarter, and Ryan Stock has 5 points on only 2 made field goals, and that is not a formula for success for the Kickapoo Chiefs.
And Glendale has been able to make the adjustment. Remember, Gardner was a force on the inside, and he scored 2 points here in the quarter, 12 in the game. And they're going to come back with with Sutherland to replace Gardner. Morgan, Stock, Daler, Powell, and Sutherland out there for Kickapoo. Ross, Tinsley, Thompson, Pickering, and Garwitz for the Falcons. They'll stay with their same 5, leading by 11. Powell, outside Stock. He won't shoot it, instead looks to dribble drive. And a belly bump foul on Austin Thompson. That'll be his third.
His third. Foul number 3.
Chiefs to inbound. Sutherland across the lane, missed it. Garwitz with a rebound.
Kickapoo's missed so many shots from 6 feet and in.
Been outscored 10-2 here in the quarter. Garwitz. Pickering. He'll take Stock baseline, and there's a hand check, and that'll be Stock's third. Stock and Gardner with 3 now for Kickapoo. Thompson with 3. Garwitz and Tinsley with 2 for Glendale. Pendergrass is back in, and Powell sits down for the Chiefs. 3:16 remaining, third quarter. Pickering is going to be called for a foul, an offensive foul, and that will be his second. Cully back and Stock out for the Chiefs.
Kerry Nelson made that call from out front, but he had an edge-on look at the play where it was coming right at Robert Burr.
Tinsley with a steal and a foul underneath. He fed David Ross, and the foul is going to be on J.P. Morgan. That'll be his second. Take a look at it again right there, and you see the reach in for Morgan is Ross. Had the ball low, so Glendale with the basketball. 3 minutes to go in the third. Thompson almost turned it over. Garwitz loses it. Morgan with a steal. Sutherland in transition. Morgan. Pendergrass in the baseline. The runner won't fall. David Ross the other way. They failed to cut him off. He tried to throw a pass, and the ball was tipped up on the glass. Game getting rather sloppy, Don. Both teams perhaps showing the emotion, and it's resulting in turnovers there.
Just like that.
Pickering somehow got it on the glass, but missed it. Naylor into the lane, knocks down Garwitz, no call, and a foul at the other side. Probably the right thing there for Kerry Nelson. There's where you see the foul. Tinsley picks up his third. And away from your picture, Mike Keltner was talking to David Ross. I have a feeling the conversation settled around, would you settle down? They're playing with a 10-point lead now.
It's rough and tumble out there at this stage. And this is the first double-digit lead for the Falcons, which could become single again.
But Sutherland missed the throw. He has 7 points. 10-point game with 2:10 to play, third quarter. Pickering into the lane. Runner, good. Pickering in double figures with 10. 12-point lead for Glendale to the 2-minute warning. Daylor answers for the Chiefs.
Oh, and they had to have that.
He's hit 2 field goals. They've both been 3-pointers. 9-point game. Against the trap, Garwitz hands it to Tinsley, out front to Ross. 90 seconds to go in the quarter. Austin Thompson guarded by Sutherland. Tinsley. Pickering is stripped of the ball and a foul. And it appears J.P. Morgan has been hit with another one. It'll be his third.
Gardner 3 and Stock 3, all 3 personal fouls for Kickapoo now.
Free throw is good for Wesley Pickering. He has 11. Gardner is back in along with Eric Johnson. Morgan and Sutherland sit down for the Chiefs. And you can tell Roy Green shuffling his cards, trying to get 5 that'll click in there. Pickering with 12. There's your story. Too hard off the glass, no good by Pendergrass. Garwitz in the lane, left-hand shot, good! Take it off the board and call it an offensive foul.
Let's see. That is a heck of an acting job right there.
That was not a good call by Robert Burr. He bought the acting job. There was very little contact there. And it will be costly because then, well, it's his third.
Little debris on the floor from the student side again.
So with under a minute to play, Stock dribbles through the defense and they lost it. Pickering to Ross. He's stripped of the ball and it goes out of bounds with 47 seconds left. And that was a good play defensively. West Pickering.
How do they let Pickering get that open for an inbounds pass underneath?
13-point lead for Glendale, their biggest of the night, with half a minute to go. Third quarter. Gardner underneath, scores, and Ross with not a very smart foul, Don. If you're going to foul the big man underneath, you've got to get more of him than that.
A lot more.
That was like a mosquito trying to buzz a thoroughbred there, because it did nothing to stop Gardner, who just shrugged him off and put it in the basket. He has 15. Back to a 10-point game. Pickering. Tinsley had it poked away, gets it back, but he's in jail. And he turns it over. Nine seconds, 8. You see the clock. They'll set a pick for Stock. Daler from way outside, left it short. And Stock couldn't find anybody rolling to the basket, and we've got 3 in the books. Glendale leads by 10.
Kickapoo's ball to start the fourth quarter. Gardner picks it up underneath and scores. There is a foul as well.
And if that's on Garwitz, that's his 4th. And now all of a sudden, Don, that offensive foul at the other end that we saw a moment ago really comes into play.
It's magnified. Gardner with 17. And he hits for the 3 to make it a 7-point game. Cully back in. Eric Johnson was in briefly.
It has gone from 13 to 7 on the strength of his last 2 trips down floor.
In the fourth quarter, live at Glendale High here on Cable 36. Thompson comes up with it. Out near half court. Ross, Cully covers him up. Garwitz beyond the 3-point arc to Thompson.
Mike Keltner with a bit of a gamble, letting him play with 4 fouls.
That'll be Glendale's ball from right in front of their bench. Pickering from right next to his coach.
If you're Glendale, Don, you've got to do the things that got you the lead.
Garwitz around Gardner. Oh, what a move.
Big time play right there.
The lead is 9 and Glendale gets it back. Tinsley ahead of the pack. Back to double digits, 6:40 to play. Sutherland inside, a charge is called. Watch it coming at you.
Wasn't a lot of contact in terms of strength of contact, but it was right there, right torso to torso, as I say. And that's where you get the charge. Which on the other end, when we talked about it a moment ago, you didn't really get that torso to torso contact.
48-37, and as Pickering comes in, he hits Daler, and Daler is going to be said to have not given him room to come down. That's where you get the block. It's the 8th team foul, and 1-1 for Wes Pickering. 11-point Glendale lead with Pickering shooting the bonus.
I don't know if your crowd can pick up the chant from across the way. The Kickapoo students less than enthused, but probably would have been a no call, except the ball got poked away from Pickering, and that's where the block occurred.
Front end is good. Eric Johnson back in for the Chiefs.
In other words, if there had been no advantage gained one way or the other, they probably would have let it go. But since there was an advantage, they gave Pickering the free throws.
Glendale by 13. Gardner got it in, and he has 20. Matches his season high. Glendale by 11 as Pickering comes across into the forecourt. Tinsley down to the corner. Thompson will dribble it back up. No looking across to Tinsley.
That was an outstanding pass. He had everybody going back out front and then whipped it down low. Tinsley was all alone.
Now Daylor kicks it into the corner to Johnson. Back out for the miss, and Gardner picks it up. The miss for Ben Pendergrass, and Gardner now with 22.
But nobody else is even close to double figures. Sutherland with 7 is their next highest score.
Stock still at 5, and he hasn't scored in the second half. Five minutes, 10 seconds to play. Thompson, the dish to Pickering. Up and off and put in by Garland. Now Stock. Looking for Gardner, and he threw it away. Or Gardner juggled it away. That's a good pass.
Big man wasn't ready for it.
J.P. Morgan back in.
Garwitz has really made a couple of nice offensive plays since picking up his 4th foul. And he's been playing now with about 4 minutes with it.
Leave Tinsley open. Pickering leaning in. Not quite, but he'll draw a 2-shot foul. Morgan gets foul number 4. And Pickering to shoot 2.
Roy Green wants timeout.
Didn't get it. Yet anyway. Pickering's first is no good.
He got his.
Now he wants.
He got the same result though. He got him to miss the front end. And now he'll take the timeout, which will be a full timeout.
4:41 to go. 54-41 Glendale. Pickering hit the second foul shot. We come back with Glendale leading 55-41. Here's Morgan from 3 for the Chiefs. It's no good. Glendale the rebound and a 14-point lead with 4.5 minutes to go. Through traffic, Thompson. Pickering down to Tinsley and back up to Pickering in a trap. And he loses it as Stock brings it down for the Chiefs. And Pickering steps in for the steal. All the way with Stock, and he hits it. Falcons by 16. This will stay Kickapoo's way. Sutherland back in along with Brad Daylor for the Chiefs. Out front to Stock. And short again. And we get a travel. And it'll stay on Kickapoo's side. Long way to go for the Chiefs now with just 3:40 left. Gardner has to go out for the inbounds pass and misses on the baseline. Ross takes it away from Morgan. And Ross cuts through, and Sutherland gets the foul on the offside. Second foul on Sutherland, and 2 shots for David Ross.
Yeah, because the big man that time, Gardner, played pretty good defense underneath. He was straight up vertical and planted in the lane.
These 5 out there for Glendale have played the whole second half. Most of them have played the whole game. Andreas Mueller was in for a few minutes in the first half, but not since halftime. Eric Johnson back in for the Chiefs. Stock will try again and just keep shooting till he makes it, I guess.
Well, that plays into what we were saying earlier, Don. That one of the keys to victory for the Chiefs was going to be how well they shot the ball and what their shot selection was like.
They have just not fallen for Kickapoo tonight. Tinsley comes right back out.
But they didn't fall for against Parkview either. And now they can't catch the ball.
Garwitz ducks under and brings it back out. Glendale obviously trying to burn as much time as they can. They're ahead by 17.
And this is a clinic.
And there's your foul on Ben Sutherland. That was tremendous.
But even though Glendale appears they're going to go on to the win, let's remember this is the first of 2 that we know of and possibly 3 meetings. And while this one means everything today, the next 2 will be just as important, if not more so.
.226 left. .60-41 Falcons. Johnson on the baseline hits. And let's see if Kickapoo fouls sooner or actually steals, and they do with Gardner, and it's Thompson that's called for the foul. Well, if you had to seed the district right now, at least the top half of it, you would have to give Glendale the top nod based on the caliber of their losses, I guess, if you will, St. Raymond's and Jeff City. And Parkview,
number 2.
Number 2, Kickapoo 3.
And
based on Parkview beating Kickapoo.
And, of course, those 2 have yet to play yet. Talk about a couple of wars.
Glendale Parkview.
Yep.
Put back by Stock. The first of those is Tuesday night. And it'll be right here. Thrown out of bounds, and Mike Keltner wants a 20 with 1:55 to go. Parkview and Glendale play here Tuesday night, and then the second matchup is the end of the regular season for both teams on February 19th over at Parkview.
And that's the night that we have Greenwood and Catholic with their annual doubleheader. Our only chance really to get the Irish on,
right? Both
boys and girls. And our only regular season chance to see Greenwood. Of course, we saw him in the blue and gold, but as far as television was concerned, we haven't had a chance to see them yet either.
With under 2 minutes left, Stock all the way. Out of bounds for the Falcons. And the lead is 14 with 1:48 remaining. Ross quickly fouled. That's how it will end, it looks like. Johnson gets the foul. And unless Glendale collapses, this game belongs to them.
Well, you say that, and you're right, but you remember a game out of Kickapoo a few years back in which Glendale scored 10 in the last minute of the game, come from behind and win. It came from like 9 down to win.
One out of 2 for Ross. And Kickapoo's ball with 1:45 and counting. Gardner picks up the miss of the 3. What a game he's having with 25, and Glendale turns it over. And Mike wants another 20. This will be his final 20-second timeout. He still has his fulls left. 61-48.
Which means he has 3 full timeouts. Kickapoo has 1 remaining.
Again, we're back out here Monday night for girls action, Glendale and Parkview. And next Friday, Glendale and Hillcrest boys out on the hill. After the quick timeout, Kickapoo's ball. Powell takes it in. Garwitz there. What a tremendous pass to Tinsley, and he missed the layup and a foul, but Garwitz with a magical pass. Brett Powell's
The fact that he was left-handed there aided him in getting that pass ahead. And you saw the foul.
Tinsley has 13. Well, Glendale is, for the most part, hitting their free throws and has kept the lead double digits. Gardner for 3. Quick foul to the other end, we walk.
Johnson gets number 2 there, and Gardner has done it all. 28 points, even shooting the threes. But you can also see, Don, where Kickapoo will be very, very tough if they hit their shots.
And another look at this 3 for Gardner. Pickering gets both, 65-51. Falcons 3 for Stock, his second 3 and his first since the first half. There's the foul, and the margin is 11 with 1:02 to go. Tim Banner the foul, number 1 on him. Glendale long since shooting 2 on all fouls now.
Three starters in double figures, and the other 2 are close.
About 14 in the second half for Tinsley out of his 16 total. Stock misses the 3, and Gardner's on the back. That'll be his 4th. Under a minute to play, 53 seconds to go here at Glendale.
I've got Pickering with 21, Tinsley with 16, Thompson with 12, Ross and Garwitz with 9.
Pickering misses the first. Now with 50 seconds left, Stock doing all he can. This time it'll be Garwitz shooting. He has stayed the distance.
I was going to say,
being in a little foul trouble.
Perhaps the key to the 4th quarter. Kickapoo was poised. They could have made a run. Garwitz picked up his 4th foul inside the first minute of the 4th quarter. And you mentioned he was able to stay the distance. And now he has a chance to join 3 other teammates in double figures, but he missed the first.
He has 10 now. And if Ross could score one more, that'd give all 5 starters double figure scoring, and that's it. No bench points for Glendale. Here is Ross,
and he'll get his chance.
Yeah. 32 seconds to go. That's number 5 on Tyrone Gardner.
Tell you what, he deserves a round of applause. This young man played a heck of a game.
He hit for his season high of 28.
He did everything he could do tonight. 28 points, handful of rebounds, including a 3 offensively.
Falcons will go to 17, or will go to 18-2 now for the year. They'll stay perfect in the conference heading into Thursday night or Tuesday night's meeting with Parkview. Now Garwitz is done. Nathan Forbes checks in for him. All 5 Falcon starters with at least 10 points. Stock with the runner. 71-56 with 20 seconds to play. Thompson will go all the way. This should just about do it in the final 10 seconds. Sutherland will get the putback, but that'll be it. Falcons win it 73-58. The Southside War first round goes to Glendale.
The impressive thing, though, is you notice the players. Very workmanlike. That's for the fans to get excited about, and the fans do. But you notice the players, they know they're going to be 2, possibly 3 more meetings. Or 1 more, possibly 2 more meetings.
15-point win for the Falcons, 73-58. Glendale wins it 73-58. The Falcons 18-2, 4-0 in the conference, and Kickapoo now 13-5 and 2-2 in Ozark Conference play. Tyrone Gardner led the way for the Chiefs with 28. Ryan Stock finishes with 12. Ben Sutherland 9, Brad Daler 6, Eric Johnson 2, and Brett Powell 1 for the Chiefs. And on the Glendale side, 5 double-figure scorers, all the starters, led by Pickering at 22. Austin Thompson 14, David Ross 11, Ben Garwitz 10, Matt Tinsley with 16, and a huge role he played tonight as the Falcons win it by a 15-point margin. And maybe that's the theme of the night as the rolls are still flying through the students that are now out onto the floor.
Well, it's one thing's for sure, it's legal to have it out on the floor at this point, as the Falcons with an impressive win over the Kickapoo Chiefs. Our final 73-58.
Hope you'll join us this coming week. Next week on Monday, it'll be Parkview and Glendale and girls action. And next Friday, we'll have the boys game of the week, Glendale at Hillcrest. We hope you'll join us for those. For Rob Evans and the rest of our crew, Don West, thanks for joining us. Glendale wins at 73-58. Good night from Glendale.